Hi everyone, it's Anne from Curious Moon Design. Join me today and watch me adapt one of these plain brown envelopes into a file folder. I've watched lots of crafty friends on YouTube making these, so join me today and watch my take on it. Okay, well I'm going to use these papers that are ours, but I've only printed them on photocopy paper, so I'm going to just use this cardstock, glue it to that, and then it'll be a bit thicker because I need it a bit thicker, and the same with this one I think. And then I'm going to use some cardstock that I have left over from the other one to go with it, because I think they'll complement each other. So I'll glue those together and then I'll come back. Okay, so that's all finished, stuck down. I mean, I should have printed it on some card, but you know what it's like, you're not sure what you're going to use it for, so I just printed it on paper and I've stuck it on there now. So I've got my envelope. Now the first thing I like to do is to do something with the inside. I mean, it may be that you want to leave it, if you have a brown envelope, just leave it like that. I think it just gives it a little bit more sturdiness if you line it. So, and they're usually easy to open. So I want to have this on the front. I think I'm going to have some collage pieces on this side and then this on here, probably. You know what it's like, you change your mind when you've so when I open it up, I think I'll have some plain paper in there, and because the front is going to be collaged, I'm going to take my time and just collage that. I mean, you don't have to do it all, but as I say, I quite like to do it, and I like collaging, it's quite relaxing. So I'll sit and put some papers on here. And the other thing about doing the whole thing is that you may change your mind and want to use it as a little journal cover or do something else with it, and if you've already lined the back, then you're ready to go. Okay, so I'll go away and stick all those bits down and I'll come back. There we are, all covered in the blink of an eye. I just used a glue stick, so just make sure your little edges are down. Now I'm just going to cut around the edge of the envelope, just so that I know where the envelope starts and where all the folds are. So I'll probably edit this out. You don't want to watch me doing this all. There we are, almost there. Now at this stage you could change the shape of your envelope if you wanted to, so rather than cut the bits off that I have, if you wanted to square it off, extend it, then you could do that. I mustn't keep all these little bits. It's so tempting. Right, so once that's done, a little bit more sticking down. It's a good idea to make sure you know where your folds are. There we are. So you've got the inside of the envelope already, and if I wanted to, because it's easier, I could stitch around here and ink up. I could do that. So now I'm going to concentrate on how I want the back of the envelope to look. So I could lay it out that way and cover this. If I just stick something on there, then I can cut round it, and the same for the flap. So what have I got for that? I think I'm going to use this. I think I thought it might look good with more collage, so or that bit from there. But they're so easy to make, you can make lots of them and do them. But I think because that's collaged, I'm going to make that the green flap, and then I'll just put some more collage on this edge. And when I'm doing it, I will collage over the fold, because if you do it up to the edge, you get a not very neat finish. So I'll make sure that I probably start there, because this won't be seen, and then collage up, and then I will stick this on here just over the edge slightly, so there's a nice fold. And then when I've done that, I'll come back and show you. Okay, well, I've collaged that bit that's going on the front. I was just a bit mindful about what I was putting on there, because that's going to be visible. So now I just need to cut around the edge. It's a little bit more difficult because it's the same paper, but I could have bent this over, but because it's a curved edge, it's going to be more difficult, so I'm just going to cut it. Go for the easy option. So I'll carry on cutting around there, and as you can see, I've stuck this piece of paper onto the flap, which is going to flap down. So I've just got to cut around there now as well. So I'll do that off camera and then come back when it's finished. Okay, well, I think we've got the back almost covered. I've inked the edges just to give it a little bit of definition. I think that there'll be some sort of decoration going on there, and something here for closure. I put a heart and a little cutout on that one. What I'm also thinking of doing on this one, not on the inside but on this edge, is to put a layer of PVA glue over the top. It just gives it a little bit of a sheen and also reinforces all the collage. So that's that side, so I always tackle that side first, and then we've got the back, or the front I should say. So this side of the envelope where we have all the tags, and I'm just going to play along with it, not necessarily do exactly the same. I'm going to use this collage piece with some cardstock. I think that goes quite nicely together. But what I'm going to do first is put the PVA glue on there, and then I'm going to press it between two books, or heavy books, just for a couple of hours. It just stops it bouncing around a bit, and then it's easier to work with. And I'll also cut out, save you watching me do that, I'll cut out the pieces that I'm going to use on here, and then I'll come back and we'll decorate the front. Okay, I've put some PVA glue on here, and you can see it's just given it a little bit of a sheen compared to the bit that I haven't. And I've had them pressing in a underneath a couple of books, so it's all stuck nicely and ready for the next stage, which is covering the front, as it were. So I just have to make sure that I've got it the right way round. So that's the top, so this is going to be the top. So I'm going to put a layer of background paper on the back, and as you can see the difference between putting the PVA glue on. But I think I'll leave this one just sort of a matte finish. And I've cut some pieces for the sides. So this one's going to be here, and then that one over the top, so it's like that. And I've cut them, and so they've got a hinge there, and the hinge I'm going to glue underneath the background paper so that it doesn't show, of course. So it'll be like that. And I'm going to stick it down with some double-sided tape. So I'll stick that one there, and also I want a flap coming over the top on this one. So I've also cut a hinge, I can find it, to go there. So that's what I've got to do, is stick all these down, and then I'll stick my background paper over the top of that. Before that, I'm just going to cover that, the back of that collage piece, because I don't want it white. So I'm going to use another piece of this, I think. And when I've done that and glued that down, I'll come back and I'll show you how we put the pockets on. Okay, well, I stuck these 3 pieces on. I've just put them on with the one-sided tape, and I've just made sure that they're in line. I'll press them firmly down, but I'm also going to put some masking tape along there, just to give it a bit of extra strength. There we are then, and now I can glue this down, and you could put another flap here, so you could keep adding to it or just changing it around. I'm just going to ink up the edge here. So some glue stick. Just my cereal bag. It just stops the green pad from getting too sticky. This bit's not going to be seen, so just choose, if you've got a pattern where you want it to go. This glue stick isn't as good as the last one I had. I don't think I'll get it again. Slightly different, aren't they? But I didn't want it too wet, so that's why I'm not using the PVA glue. Now, this hinge is okay. This one's a little bit rough. I'm just going to trim that edge off and put some washi tape up there. Right, that's all the flaps on. So now it's the pockets. I'm going to have one pocket there, and I'm going to use the same collage paper. One pocket there. And then this pocket here, and then the flap will come down over that. So I'm going to round the edges because I think that's looking quite nice on this one. So I'm going to ink the edges. So I'll do that off camera. And before I stick the pockets down, I want to do my closure like this one. But if I do it before I put the pocket on, I won't see the back of the brad. So I've got to choose a closure. I'm going to do the same one as I've done on here. So I'll put an eyelet in on this side and a paper button on here. So I'm either going to cut out a piece of this and have on there, or the green. I don't think the green will go there, introduces another colour, so I could use some collage paper. So I'm going to go away and have a think about that, do the eyelet, ink these pockets up, and then get ready to stick them down. Right, I think we're on the home straight now. So I've put my little button there. So the brad is inside here, which will be inside the pocket. I'm just going to put some tape along there to make sure it doesn't catch anything. And how I'm fixing my pockets. So what I'm doing, I do it different ways, but this one I'm going to, this is just ordinary masking tape. I'm just laying it in half. On the pocket, and then another bit on one of the corners, and then one on this corner. So then I'm going to attach it to here. I want it off the bottom a bit because otherwise it'll show. And I want this in line as much as I can. So that's about there. in there, and that's fine. So I'm going to do the same here with masking tape and the same here. There, I could have used the double-sided tape, but the masking tape has a little bit more give, and so I could take it off if I got it in the wrong place, whereas the double-sided tape is quite sticky straight away. Okay, so what have we got left to do? I'm going to put a string on there and tie it around, because I made this a bit larger, so if I put the eyelet in, it's going to be down there. I could cut it a bit smaller, but I quite like it like that, so I'm just going to have a different type of tie for there. And then I've just got to, I might put another button on there and some wording, as with this one. This one I put a pocket on the outside, but I've got a flap on this one. So, and just fill it with some tags and ephemera. So, when I've done that, I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Right, well, I think we're there. You can never say finished, can you, with junk journaling? So I put a little tag on there, just I put N for notes, and I've got a tie on here now, so that just opens up and it goes right around, and then open up. I've got a pocket here, and I put some tags and tickets in, and just a little tag there. I just made it up from the paper that was left over, and then this has got a button on it just to give that a bit of a closure. So you could have a little notebook there or something, or a notebook in here. So many ways you can adapt these things. So that's turned out okay. And then on the other side, I've got the envelope, and I've put a couple of beads on just to tie in with the green, and a closure here. And then this opens up, and I haven't made it as an envelope to slide in. I've left it so you can open up, and then you could use this to write on, do some more drawings. But I've placed a little tiny journal that I've made up inside, and I've tea dyed these papers that I had, and they've turned out very nice, and I tea dyed the back of that cardstock, so that just fits in there, an extra little writing space. That ties around there, and then this one goes right round and ties up like that. So it goes round there as well. So there's another little file folder to add to my stock. I'm probably going to put this in my sewing journal, but I'll see when I'm putting that together. Thank you for joining me today. I've really enjoyed making this. So if you've enjoyed watching, please press the subscribe button and press the little bell for notification. I'd love you to join me again when we'll make something else. Bye for now. Take care of yourselves. See you again next time.